Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for all the opportunities that you've given us for this day. Thank you for allowing me to make the drive down and make it safe and get an awesome workout with my friend Dylan. And hopefully I speak some good words on this podcast. Help Dylan out, help myself out, and just preach the word and have a good evening as well. Here again, lots of opportunities, and you've blessed us with it. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen. Thanks, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Welcome to Disciple Podcast.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's an opportunity, just like I was saying. I saw where you started at, and I kind of invited myself. I was like, dude, I got to get on, And I was wanting to come down and work out anyways, and thought it was an opportunity for us to do both. So, yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. I mean, I was stoked whenever you put your name in the hat the first time. And then I had to work out some kinks with the podcast itself, and now here we are, and I'm super excited to talk to you. I mean, about like a whole array of things. For the viewers who don't know Josh yet, he's done a bunch of different things as far as an athlete, as far as just in general, HYROX athlete, been to the World Championships, opened his own gym at 23. Am I getting that right? 23, 24. And has just lived a bunch of life up until this point now. And we'll kind of dig into all of that here in a little bit. But yeah, man, I'm stoked to talk to you just about all things fitness, all things kind of leadership, and specifically want to kind of dive into the kind of how you structure your training and stuff like that, because it's a cool model that you're kind of working with.
Cool. Yeah. So personally, for my training, I've always, I say always, I've been doing CrossFit for a while. I got introduced to CrossFit when I was 14. Of course, I was an athlete growing up, playing sports, and I did athlete-specific workouts, trying to be better at football, trying to be better at basketball, trying to be better at track. And so you got to do specific stuff for that, But when I got introduced to CrossFit, it kind of just helped everything. And I enjoyed the workouts. So I started that, and I kind of was just doing CrossFit. I mean, even still, But here recently, of course, just like you, I've always been an endurance runner as well. Like I told you in our pre-call, my parents were coaches. Mom, cross-country coach, track coach, dad, track coach, football coach. So I've always been into running. The thing is, I played a linebacker, and I was an endurance runner. Doesn't necessarily
Don't mix well.
Doesn't mesh well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome though.
Of course, now we're doing HYROX, and it meshes real well, So so I saw HYROX come up, and I was like, man, I've been kind of wanting to try to find like a CrossFit running competition. Boom, here we go. Of course, first events, I had no idea what I was doing, just going out way too hot, way too fast, and just crashing in the middle of the workout. But I fell in love with it, and I continue to train that way. I still do CrossFit, and I still do, your basic lifting. Obviously, you got to run, I'll always do that. But yeah, my training consists of HYROX now and prepping for races. And that's important for me. I gotta have something where I'm prepping for. I say I got to. It's helpful, If I don't have, even if it's just like a road race, that I'm prepping for, I'll get a little complacent. Now with this HYROX stuff, I've been really enjoying it, but it's a trip, Most of the time I have to travel. I'm from McAlester, Oklahoma, so even when I go to the Dallas event, it's a little bit of a trip. But I've been fortunate enough to fly a lot of places and really travel and kind of take like mini vacations, I guess you could say. But if I'm going to do that, I need to take it real serious. And found a little bit of success. Qualified for the World Championships in Vegas in 22. And actually, the year after that, I got plantar fasciitis real bad. And it basically, I remember there was like 6 months where I wasn't running at all. So I was staying fit, but obviously still got to run, and kind of got back into it. And here recently, just got back from Chicago. I qualified for the World Championships there. Did it as a doubles. And, the thing is, so my partner, he's awesome. He really is. but people are getting freaking fast, man. I mean, they're just so good. It's getting competitive.
Yeah, I mean, people were smoking through that thing. I mean, yeah, these runners, like, different levels of or different backgrounds of running that are kind of being introduced to the platform, and like, because it's 60-70% of the race, I mean, they're just flying through it, and then what they do in the station work is what they do in the station work.
Right. I kind of gamed it a little bit.
Okay.
So I have a buddy. I knew he was older, but he's fast.
Okay.
And I sent him a random message. I was like, dude, how old are you? And he told me his age. I was like, man, we could do the 40 to 49 age group because it's going to be the average.
The average, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
And he was all about it. And yeah, we went to Mexico City first. Of course, we're going to go back upcoming, and we won it.
Nice. Oh, I think I saw that on Instagram actually.
Yeah, and then we went to Dallas and we won it. And yeah, it's we've been all about it here ever since. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's sick. It's like I kind of came up with a similar concept myself. I haven't enacted it yet, but I have a buddy we're kind of in the same place that y'all would be. And I'm like, we can do, it's almost like a father-son race, it's like masters and mixed with the young guy, right? But no, that's a cool concept.
Well, the thing is, man, in our age group, that's the hardest division in the world, man.
Dude, it's tough, man.
Yeah, the 30 to 39. Of course, I guess they're doing 5-year increments now, but yeah, I mean, if you look at the Elite 15, they're in that age group, so yeah. No, yeah, but so we kind of gamed it a little bit and we're making it work, so.
Yeah, man, I love it. Hey, it's strategy, right? I mean, that's big part of all sports. Comes down to the strategy. I saw something recently. I think I shared it on my Instagram. That was like, it's not the best, necessarily the best team or the best athlete that wins. It's the smartest or the most strategic. So you can definitely game it, which I mean, I think that's badass.
Yeah. And yeah, you do have to be smart about how you tackle things. I mean, of course, you see it all the time. You see, these real high-level athletes, but you still got to apply yourself, and you can't just coast on talent alone. You have to put in some work to do it. And yeah, man, just hard work always pays off, no matter who you are, And yeah, I do try to preach that just because it's always worked for me. So
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you know better than most, teaching or coaching rather, young athletes. Let's go back a little bit. I'm curious. Tell me a little bit about how you got started in sport. I mean, obviously you mentioned parents coaching, so introduced to all levels of sports at a young age. How'd that kind of influence what sports you played and kind of early sports?
Yeah, so the thing is, yeah, I got introduced to sports very young. Me and my brother, athletic, and my brother is actually crazy athletic. But seeing him, who's more athletic than me, and seeing my buddies, who was more athletic than I am, and I'm not saying that I was like a horrible athlete. I was just, I could go, but I needed some work, And another thing that kind of motivated me, actually really motivated me, if you go to McAlester, Oklahoma, my parents are legends, and especially my dad. He All-American, everything in football, All-State and state championships, is just everything, So growing up, I was seeing that and had the pressure of other people, and so I enjoyed running, but I really wanted to play football, and I really wanted to do that thing. The thing is, my sophomore year, I tore my ACL. My junior year, same knee, tore my ACL. So that introduced me to work, and of course at the time, this it's kind of how life rolls. It sucked at the time, but looking back at it, it was one of the best blessings that's ever been in my life. Just because, yeah, I had to buckle down even more to get back to where I was at. And the thing is, I never really got fully back to where I was at, but I did get tougher. But I got into obviously training, and I got to where I really enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed the training more than actually playing the games, and I knew I wanted to be a coach. I knew, and here again, not hating on the schools or anything like that, the school system didn't really want to be the teacher, coach, and the system and everything like that. And not throwing jabs or anything. I think people who do that are amazing. You know, I mean, a lot of my coaches I still look highly up to, you know. I just didn't really want to do it. So got through high school and did the college thing, ran track. I actually went to school in Colorado for a bit, but to be honest with you, I was just kind of lost, man. I just didn't really know what to do. And one thing led to another. And of course, when I got to college, I was kind of just making some mistakes and stuff like that. And I moved back home just because I kind of had to. I didn't really have any options. I just kind of honestly just blew everything away. Still doing CrossFit, and I got to meet, I got working out with some pretty high level individuals, you know, doctors and dentists, and they love CrossFit as well. Yeah. And it was like, man, let's open up a CrossFit gym. And I was like, shoot, I mean, I got nothing else to do. Let's freaking do it, you know. And of course, you know, God kind of placed that. Well, He did place that in my lap, and I knew then. I was like, all right, well, here He is handing me this thing. Let's take it serious and let's go for it. And ever since then, honestly, man, I've been living the dream. I really have. Of course, there's ups and downs, and there's tough times and there's storms, but I get to go to work. I don't have to go to work, you know. And man, it's freaking awesome. I love it, you know. And you know, that's the thing about being a gym owner or a business owner or anything like that. It can be tough. It really can be. That's why I tell people, like, whenever they have these aspirations to open a gym or a business or anything like that, I was like, I highly recommend you love it. Just because if you don't, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be real tough. So yeah.
Yeah. If you're not in love with, you know, the game you're playing, essentially, it's like it's real easy to put it away. You know, and that's something that, you know, I've made that mistake, you know, multiple times. You know, we were just talking about like just dabbling in a bunch of different things here before we started recording, and yeah, I look back to all the different little side hustles or businesses that I started and that just didn't go anywhere because I wasn't really in love with it. I just liked the idea of it. Right. Yeah. So yeah, you got to be fully invested, and I think that's important that, you know, you hit on that because you know, especially in today's, you know, world, you know, I mean, anybody could start a business, you know, especially with the help of AI, and you know, it's just like. But even then, it's like make sure you're invested before you pull the trigger because it's a lot of responsibility. So you went to school in Colorado right after high school, or that was a kind of a longer road to get there?
No, yeah, I went to a school in Edmond, Oklahoma, UCO, for a little over a year, and then I went and joined my brother a school in Kansas and ran track. He was better than me. I was there for a semester, and I kind of got to a point where I was tired of getting just smoked. And I was like, man, I need something new. And of course, I'm native, and there's a school in Colorado, in Durango, Colorado, which is beautiful. I try to visit there as much as I can. But they was giving me money back to go there. And I was like, don't know anyone there, but hey, I'm going, you know. And yeah, I loved it. And then after that, honestly, I got a little homesick. And one thing led to another. I was living here and there and dabbling in the wrong things, honestly. And here again, this loss, you know. I do think it's important for people also to have a purpose, you know. And yeah, it might take years for you to find that purpose, but whenever you find that purpose, it goes a long ways. But I just didn't have a purpose, man. I knew that I wanted to be successful. I knew I wanted to do the right thing, and I knew I wanted to be a good role model and all the above. I just didn't quite know how to do it. And you know, when I moved back to my hometown, I kind of was like defeated. Like, golly, like you're just blowing things, man. Like you need to get it together. And yeah, I just started working out with that group more, and it happened, man. And yeah, that's kind of the way it is. I mean, obviously you got to put work into stuff, but if you stay faithful and you stay, true to doing right, God's going to give you gifts. And I do believe that as well. And when he gives you those gifts, you got to take it serious, and you got to ride with it, man.
Yeah, no, amen. I mean, I've been there. Do you mind me asking kind of what was going on whenever you were in Colorado, like, life-wise?
Yeah, so parties. I was going to class, and I was doing that thing. I was making okay grades. I was I was working out at a CrossFit gym, which was helpful. But yeah, there's parties, and of course my mom's about to watch this, but which is fine. But
No, I got you. You don't have. Feel free to skip through it if you want.
no, it's all good. Drugs and alcohol, yeah, and yeah, just making mistakes, man. And the thing is, that stuff. I have a whole bunch of friends that well, shoot, the thing is, of course I make jokes, but with my young kids, I'm turning to old man, but I'm getting older, and I have buddies that were partying and continue to do it, and they're dying, and yeah, you just the thing is, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, it is fun, but it's not worth it, and yeah, I just got to a point to where I was like, man, like, I know this ain't right, and I just I gotta get clean, and I gotta get right, and I know what I'm worth, and I do know I have a purpose. It's time to lock in and really get after it. So yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's, obviously it's a touchy subject. I mean, I've experienced, similar thing. I mean, probably almost the exact same thing in my life, where I went down some shady roads, man. And I think it's important to talk about those things because, there might be somebody that's in that same position, and then they, hear you or I or whoever talk about it, and it's like, yeah, I was in a bad way. But look at me now, I'm successful. I'm an athlete. I get to express myself in all these cool different modalities. And it's like, you can get there too. Right. I think it's super important, especially if you kind of have some pillars that you can lock in on, which, knowing you did, which, we've already kind of hit on a few of them. Sounds like faith, and then fitness as well, being like two of your main core pillars there that kind of helped you get through, that trying time. But not only that, is that gives you fuel and ammunition to make an even bigger impact in the future, which I know you're doing.
Oh man, it's led to more blessings and opportunities than I could ever imagine. The thing is, of course, me just a little bit. I kind of was quiet, and I really kept things in. And it took a lot of practice to get out of that. Hard things would happen, and I would just be like, you know what? I'll just block it out and not talk about it. And just fight through it on my own. And I got to a point to where like I gotta find myself first. I gotta find myself first, and I gotta be. We use the word vulnerable, and people use that word. You got to be comfortable, And yeah, of course, when you're at a gym, and I have little kids to teenagers to college kids to older adults, and you never know what's going on with them, And yeah, that's the thing. Just like you, I do have a testimony, and everyone has a testimony, And whenever you can be real with those people, they cherish it and they value it, and people will come up to me, and there'll be something difficult that they're dealing with, and I'm very fortunate that they're comfortable to do so, just because I'm comfortable talking about it, And I used to have shame and guilt. I don't anymore, just because I know I'm forgiven, and I know where I'm at right now. But yeah, just to be able to be open and share your story, and here again, it's led to blessings for me, and I'm very fortunate to where I've been through the storms, and I've been through those battles, and I've been through the tough stuff, and here again, like I said, it sucks at the time, but yeah, that's when you get to do the good work. You know, it is tough. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it will lead to, at least for me, you know, like depression and anxiety. I mean, I've had all those feelings, you know, and so whenever people get nervous about it just because they don't want to open up, man. And I get it. It's tough, you know. But yeah, I've felt all those feelings, and it is tough to battle through it. But man, just talk about, you know, being so much better. And yeah, that's here again. That's the good stuff, you know. So
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, it going through those storms gives you credibility, but it also gives you a really robust toolkit to help. So when someone does like approach you with, you know, you're a mentor within your community. So when someone does approach you with stuff that they're struggling with or going through, then you have the tools to help them, you know, or at least impart on them. That way they can help themselves, which is even more valuable.
right, yeah, you know, that's part of our job, Dylan. You know, obviously we want them to get more fit and more healthy and stronger, faster, whatever their goals may be. But man, you want them to become a better person, and we're blessed that we can use fitness through it, just because it is a good tool to become that best person. You know, here again, I'm kind of biased, but I think it's almost necessary, just because of the benefits that you're going to get from it. Of course, people may say otherwise, but I do think it's almost necessary to be that top-notch individual. But yeah, you get the opportunity to make them well-rounded for sure.
But you know, speaking of impact, I mean, you must have made like a huge impact on, you know, like you mentioned your fellow athletes that you were working out before you started y'all's gym and all that stuff. For them to, you know, trust you at, you know, a younger age to, you know, lead them into that CrossFit gym and all that stuff. So, I mean, you know, what was that like as a young man?
They're crazy, man. Because here again, so the thing is, me and my brother, we have a reputation for being great athletes, but we also have a reputation for being a little bit ornery as well. And yeah, I was changing my ways, but still, like, you know, I just kind of this crazy little native kid that's been kind of just like all over the place. And but they did see that I had a love and passion for it, and had a love and passion for helping people. And they knew that's what we were going to do in our town. And it was like, yeah, man, let's do it, and we want you to lead the way. So yeah, it's and that was definitely special to me, you know. Yeah, they're my friends, but they've been lifelong friends as well. They're all older than me, so I've always looked up to them. So yeah, whenever they kind of gave me the opportunity, I was like, yeah, man, like let's do it. I'm ready, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, big responsibility, but hey, you know, when God opens the door, you know, it's you go through, and there's even a big responsibility. There's even more opportunity on the other side of that door, and it sounds like that's kind of, you know, what's happening, or has happened. I mean, that was what I think you said. How many years ago now?
11 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a journey, man.
I mean, that's a testament to itself. You know, surviving that long and starting at that age. What you know, just besides, you know, the relationships, because obviously that's a huge part of you know, owning a gym and operating a gym is you have to be able to build relationships. I mean, I've come to learn that, and it makes total sense. But you know, besides that aspect, what do you think has helped you, you know, navigate 11 and a half years of operating?
So obviously, you know, you want to pursue excellence in everything you do. That goes a long ways, because people will notice that. But I have noticed throughout the 11 and a half years, you do have to adapt as well. You know, the thing is, I was actually thinking about this earlier. So I'm doing the same thing, but it's different, you know. Of course, we dropped our CrossFit affiliate not too long ago. And so we're still doing CrossFit classes, but obviously I've been doing the sports performance classes as well, which has been a huge blessing. And the thing is, we have a jiu-jitsu program at the gym. We have a boxing program at the gym. We have a Parkinson's boxing program at the gym. We have a HYROX program at the gym. And so it is different. You know, there's a lot more pieces to it. And so we that's part of the reason why we dropped it, just because we got so much going on now that yeah, we just wanted to
like make space for the others.
yeah, and just to show people that, you know, that there's other stuff going on at the gym too, you know. So yeah, and yeah, you got to adapt, and you got to make sure that you are willing to do so. You can't be stuck in your ways, you know, and you got to also always be a student of the game. When you feel like you know everything, you probably need to take a step or 2 steps back and be like, all right, I need to learn some more, you know, and yeah, you just gotta make sure that you're humble, even if you are successful. And here again, just like you and I talked about, you know, it's all through the grace of God that we're able to do anything, anyways, you know. So yeah, just always make sure that that's important, and don't get too far ahead of yourself, you know.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta like constantly be a student, which, you know, doesn't necessarily have to look any certain type of way, but as long as you're always learning, I think that gives you a big leg up. I mean, that's something that I've noticed in my own business is like, you know, when I do take that like step or even 2 steps back, I'm like, okay, let me like kind of relearn this one thing, or let me kind of dive into this new thing. It's always like accelerated my business like so much more than just going headstrong into it, be like, I'll figure it, you know, whatever. Or no thinking, you know, assuming that I have everything figured out, because I definitely don't. And even I think at the higher levels, it's always important to continue to learn. Well, you kind of brought it up already, which is kind of like my next thing that I'm really interested in, is your athletic performance program, because, you know, I think that what you're doing, a lot of people would be interested in doing, because it's kind of unique. Little personal story for me is like, you know, I'm the same way. I adore the coaches that coached me in high school. You know, in one in particular, shout out Coach Stevenson. You know, he was more than just the coach for me. He was a mentor as well. So similar stance, like no shade on the school system's coaching. But for me, I didn't want to work in the school system either, but I was really gravitated towards coaching. And, you know, I'm a lot earlier on in my coaching journey. You know, you're a lot more seasoned than I am. But, you know, I'm drawn to the same thing. Like who doesn't want to train with high level athletes, right? And everyone in the industry will tell you, no, don't train with high level athletes. They have their coaches already. Go after the bigger pool of people, you know, like the beginners or the intermediate, just getting started. But it sounds like you were like, you know, have somehow found your way, subverted that, you know, and now you have a robust class of you know, high level athletes that are, you know, young, you know, gung ho, ready to get after it, and they're looking up to you for guidance. I mean, tell me about that. I mean, that must be awesome.
Yeah, man. So here again, man, it's been a big blessing. And you know, the thing is, I didn't even try to do it. It just kind of just happened, man. And I've had a background in that kind of training, just from my training, and I had a huge background in track and field, which is speed training, you know, and so I've always been pretty good about it, you know, and so I've always taught like a CrossFit kids class, which is, you know, fun. Of course, seeing them work out is awesome, but I guess it's been, man, probably about 2.5 years ago now, which is crazy just because it's how much it's blown up. But I had one kid, and I hope they're watching this, just because I tell people this. Well, there's 2 kids. Well, they're men now, but blessings from God, and their parents, blessings from God, man, like for real. The first kid, his name's Kenyon. Shout out Kenyon. What's up, man? But he's a track athlete, super fast, ran 100. But he didn't know how to come out of blocks. He didn't really know anything. He was winning races, but like he just like didn't know anything. So his mom reached out to me, and she was like, "Hey, like, can you help him a little bit?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know, sure. Let's go for it." Of course, I went to the track, and yeah, we went to the gym and started training. And of course, we're still doing it. We're still getting after it. But he was buddies with another young adult. And actually, he just played in Denton at North Texas. He plays football at Washington State now. But his name's Malachi. Um, Malachi reached out to me. He was a senior, and yeah, he got a D1 scholarship. And he was like, "Man, like I need to lock in. I need to make sure that I'm ready to step up." And I was like, "Dude, come on to the gym, man. I'll help you out." His program, he got his summer program. It had like a whole bunch of like cleans and like jerks and stuff like that. And he didn't really know how to do that. And that's the reason why he reached out to me. But got to working with him. And yeah, man, that's the thing. So Malachi, D1 athlete, and everyone else is like, "Well, Malachi's going to Josh. Maybe we should go too." And one thing led to another, and yeah, that was right before summer. I was like, "Man, like I think I can do something with this. Maybe I should start some classes." And so I had a 4th through 6th grade class. And that was mixed, boys and girls. And then I mixed junior high and high school together.
That's kind of an interesting combo right there.
Oh, dude, well, I had too many. Yeah, it was too many in there, and it was just freaking crazy, man. In the summer, it was awesome, but it was crazy. And I was like, man, I got to keep doing this. Like, not only was it successful, but I loved it, man. This is where I got to be a coach, This is, where I get to coach football athletes, and I get to coach track athletes, and I can help them in their game. I was like, oh, man, like, yeah, this is it. I gotta really take this serious. And yeah, one thing led to another. Now I have a 4th through 6th grade class who are some little monkeys and crazy, but I love them. I have a junior high class. I've been mixing that, which is an interesting dynamic as well. But I also have a girls' high school and college and a boys' high school and college. I mixed them as well. So yeah, it led to 4 or 5 classes, and yeah, they've been packed, and yeah, I've been seeing results, and they've been seeing results. They've been putting to work. They've been enjoying it. And yeah, I have these high level athletes, and watching them get, Division I scholarships. And, the thing is, Malachi, he's going to go to the NFL, he's going to be that guy, but seeing the kid who can't jump, I've had some kids who's been real tough just jumping off 2 feet and then go and jump on like a 24-inch box. Like, dude, that's the good stuff, and, seeing the heavier kids, lose some weight, and then like seeing, some kids, that's the thing. Some kids just don't know how to sprint too, and seeing them run fast and like good form, and yeah, man, man, I tell you what, I've been loving it, man. It's been awesome. I plan to continue to do it, hopefully for the rest of my life, man, and really build that program up. I coach kids from all over the area of Southeast Oklahoma. Obviously, growing up in McAllister, I've been there for a long time, but I do like to see the Buffs be more successful as well. And yeah, that's been important to me too. So yeah, it's here again, man. God bless me, and the same thing. Like I really enjoy it. I do get super busy. And like I said, the little ones, dude, I don't know if you coach little kids, but you got to make sure that your game's on, man. Like, so yeah, sometimes they can be kind of crazy, but sometimes those kids, man, they're the best class too, just because they're going to love you, man. Those kids, they love you, they'll come and give me hugs. The adults, they don't give me no hugs, man. But the kids, they'll come and give me hugs. And yeah, just I really enjoy that too. So yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, I coach some cross country girls here in the area, and it's the same thing. It's so rewarding, one, because you can see them. Their training is so applicable. Like they come in. Maybe they're running XYZ time. You put some programming on them, and then now they're seeing like, decreasing in their time. They're getting faster, they're getting more efficient, their form's getting better, they're getting stronger. It's like everything, working with that like type, or that age or that demographic of kid is just like, everything you put on them is making a difference in a sport, in their life, and you do get to be that mentor, and they do fall in love with you. It's crazy to see, and it's like such an honor to have. It's like, you ask people. I mean, you could probably ask a 40-year-old, whatever, retired athlete or something like that, and say like, you ask them what their or even like, someone who's in a completely different industry, in business or finance or something. You ask them who, like, as a kid, some of their most impactful people were, and a lot of times they're going to say a coach. If you tell them to pick three, one of them likely is going to be a coach. So it's such a big blessing, man, to be like that for someone, especially at a young age. And then what's even more cool is you get to see them grow, and then go get that D1 scholarship or go to the professional level. And I mean, what a blessing to have been the person to early on start facilitating that.
Yeah, man, and that's another thing I try to do. Sometimes I think they get tired of me talking, but I do try to like put some like life skills in there too, just because I've been through it, and I've been in their shoes, and I've made the mistakes, and I try to help them out in that way too. And another thing I feel like that's been helpful, and just we just talked about it, is I am transparent with them. I don't beat around the bush, and I tell them straight up, and I do think they really appreciate that. And sometimes some of the stuff that I tell them is real, man. It's the truth, and I do think they value that. Just because they're kids doesn't mean that they don't need to be told this kind of stuff. And fortunately, I can use me as an example, and I can show them that, like, listen, guys, like, I understand, I understand that you want to go to the party. Like, it's fun, don't get me wrong. I understand that you want to do this. I understand those feelings that you're having. But, if you want to be an athlete, we can't be doing that. And that's why I tell the kids, like, you got to treat it as a job. If you really want to get better, first you're a student, and then you're an athlete. That's your job. That's your job as you're younger. So when we get in here, we're gonna have fun, but we're gonna work. And so it's definitely been a blessing as well. Sometimes I think they're kind of just rolling their eyes when I start talking to them, but whatever, they need to listen anyways.
Yeah, no, it'll echo for sure. I mean, I think probably we can both speak from experience in the sense that, like, you might kind of brush it off as a kid, but it'll come back around later. At some point where a decision needs to be made, maybe a critical decision needs to be made. That will definitely echo in the back of their mind. I mean, it did for me. I probably could have gotten in a lot more trouble than I already did.
We were walking miracles.
Yeah, but I there were moments where I'm like, I remembered a phrase or a lesson from a mentor back in the day. I'm like, maybe let's not go down that road today. And then, turned right instead of turning left, which was, the right thing to do at that time. Well, tell me a little bit about, like, I mean, they must be like super stoked watching you. I mean, are they invested in your HYROX journey?
Oh yeah. They definitely think it's cool. Obviously I do just, sports training with them, but they're definitely interested. And I tell you what, man, they give me some love, when I post something on social media. It's the coolest thing, man, because, like, I guess the thing that you do when you're like in high school or junior high is, like, if a buddy makes a post, you share it. And so, like, I'll get, like, all these shares and, like, reposts, and, like, most of them are from my kids,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They love it, man. They love to see that you're still doing it. I mean, and that's a cool thing too, is like, you're also, proving that you can do it throughout the longevity of your life. Again, no shade. I know this will be a hot take, but you see those coaches, right, that stopped, and not to say that they don't have the expertise, because I mean, I would venture to say that most of them probably have a lot more expertise than I do. But it is kind of, it's hard whenever you see a coach that doesn't take their own fitness seriously. I'm not saying you have to go out and go run marathons or go out and compete in HYROX or CrossFit or whatever, but there's a little bit of a lack of credibility sometimes when it comes, from someone who maybe not a lack of credibility, but maybe there's more credibility coming from someone who continues to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And just like I said, like not throwing shade or jabs or anything like that, just because coaches in the school system, well, I mean, my parents did it and I got to watch. I mean, they're in the trenches, man. Like here again, it's rewarding, but there's a lot of things that they deal with, and just from all those kids and troubled kids and just, I guess you'd call bad kids and parents and just politics and dude, that's the trenches, But yeah, just like you were saying, some coaches, they'll just they won't be invested into it, and it's a shame, And of course, I do want to brag on my mom. She was a cross country coach, but she ran with them, and and she can keep up with them, and that's part of the reason why she was so successful as a coach, just because her kids saw that and it was like, hey, we're in this thing fighting together, like you're not in the distance, we're doing this thing together. And I know those kids, actually they still tell me, that your mom, she's a crazy lady, but she's awesome, she definitely cares and loves what she does, and she does love the kids, and that was definitely cool to watch growing up. So
yeah, I mean, it garners just a higher level of respect. Yeah, I mean, which is awesome. I mean, that's sick. I'll have to come learn a thing or two from her sometime.
Oh well, she'll be at Dallas HYROX.
Okay, yeah, I'll pick her brain, because I do have some cross country runners that I love dearly. But like I said, always being a student is super important. But I mean, yeah, that's kind of where you want to be. You want to be kind of at an intersection of knowledge. I think I had this on my Instagram for a while. It's like the intersection of technical knowledge, but practical application as well. So, you gotta know how to apply it. And there's only so much, that the textbooks can show you about actually, applying, what you learn. And it's cool to see other coaches out there that are doing it. They're preaching it, but they're also partaking in it. What's your next race do you have coming up?
Mexico City, this November 8th, I think, and then Dallas, and then we'll see in the spring.
Back to back, man.
Yeah, that's what we did last year too. It was 2 weeks apart, and we were fine though. Of course, it takes a little bit to recover, but the thing about Mexico City though is at 7,500 feet, and dude, it's gnarly. Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. But we're gonna go back and get after it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Same doubles partner as before.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, same guy. We've been training, and we're gonna try to redeem. We'll see.
There we go. Hey, I think you could do it. I know that y'all are training hard. I mean, speaking of training hard, I mean, we had a session earlier today, and it was a pretty good one. What do you think? How did it fare?
Man, it was awesome. It was gnarly. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I just got out of the truck, man, and I was like, all right, we'll probably just do like a 20 or 30-minute thing. And then you wrote down that workout. I was like, oh, we're training. All right. The thing is, so I got on that treadmill, and I can hit that pace, but dude, it felt hard. I was like, oh man, this is my first run, and like we still got a whole bunch left. I was like, all right, man, you gotta lock in. And but yeah, it was great, man. It was a tough workout, but it was exactly what I was looking for, and definitely woke me up, man. I was ready for the rest of the day after that. So
yeah, me too. I was I was kind of like a little groggy before getting here. Not that it was super early or anything, but just life throws everything it can at you. But that definitely woke me up too. But yeah, that Woodway treadmill, man, they can get you. They're kind of sneaky that way.
I loved it, man. I've never been on one, and it here again, well, once I kind of got into it, I was like, yeah, I'm good. But when I first started, I felt like I was sprinting. I was like, golly, like.
Yeah, well, you came off them wall balls too.
I was like, man, I might have to tell Dylan I need to slow this down a little bit. But I was like, yeah.
No, you crushed it. I mean, I know you kind of started off by saying, there's other people who are better athletes than you, or being super humble. But no, you're a phenomenal athlete, man. So it was definitely a pleasure to get to work out with you. And I hope we get to do it a lot more. Because I think, I could probably learn a lot from you too, just in the way of training. I mean, you've been doing it a long time. Super impressive. All right, guys, hopping back in. We just took a little break real quick because we're about to get into a little bit heavier stuff. We've talked about this offline. We've both been through some dark times, and I think you kind of brought it up, and I couldn't agree more. Is like, I think it's important. All this training stuff. It's fun. It's what we do. It's our passion. It's our lifestyle, and it's what we want to kind of share with the world. But I think we would be remiss if we didn't go back and kind of talk about, like, those hard times that we go through and everybody will face at some point in their lives, and talk about like strategies of how to get through them. I know like I said, we've talked offline about it a little bit, but I'd love if you could share with the guests a little bit about how what you use to get through those trying times that you faced.
Yeah, man. Well, obviously, first off, I did have to find God, and I did have to find myself. It took hard work and practice, and this is something that I couldn't just do right away. Just like any other training or anything like that, it does take practice in order to find that. To find methods that helps you best. But you do have to start. You do have to start just because you can. When these things happen, you can go the other way real easily. And I went the other way sometimes. But yeah, you just got to start, and the faster you do start, the faster you're going to get through it. I mean, obviously, for me, here again, this is personal, but like I said, I've gotten to a point to where I can be transparent. I can use the word vulnerable and open. But I'm the individual that struggles with depression and suicide. That's a heavy thought. That's kind of always been in my mind, and it was something to where I had to really find help, and I knew I couldn't do it myself, but it was definitely something that not only impacted me, but everyone else too, and it's obviously you can tell right now it's heavy, but here again, it's through the grace of God, and but yeah, when these tough times happen, they are blessings. Just because I do know for a fact, whenever you're at your lowest, you're the closest to God. You really are, And whenever I'm on the mountaintops or on top of the podium and stuff like that, everything's good in a sense. Like, I always need God. Don't get me wrong. I always need Him. But at that moment, I mean, I don't necessarily need anything, and so
you're not reaching for Him at that time, but when you're at like rock bottom, that's when you're reaching for Him most. Is kind of what what you're saying, right?
Right. Yeah. And I just I've been reading the book. I've been listening to the podcast as well. Her name's Angela Duckworth. It's called Grit. And yeah.
Awesome book.
Of course, it's I think it's in reality just like helping people, be the best leader as possible too. But they research, the most successful and the best leaders in the world, and they just don't freaking quit. Like no matter what the situation or who's watching, or if no one's watching, they're still doing the right thing, and they're still practicing. They're still trying to find a way that's better. And here again, just like she said, like, doesn't matter your IQ or what you look like or how successful you are, but you have this ability to just not quit. Just don't freaking quit, you know. And yeah, you'll find blessings along the way. And those times where you are at your lowest or rock bottom, you want to quit. And sometimes, man, like I low key kind of quit, you know. But you just got to get your back self to it, and yeah, just keep doing your thing, and you will find your way. You will find your way. And you will find blessings. I'm 100% sure of that, just because I know I've lived it. And you know, the thing is, of course, I see your life, and man, you've just done so much, dude, and you've been through so much. But same here, you know. I don't try to throw a pity party for myself. I don't want people to feel bad. But I've you know, experienced things that I wouldn't wish upon anyone, you know. And my big thing is just like loss, you know, just mainly losing people to death, and that's what really got me. You know, it took me a while to realize this. Actually, here recently, within the past 6 months, is when I realized it, that how much it really affected me. When things would happen and situations would occur, just like the idea of losing something or someone or just whatever, it just kind of just like, I guess technically it would trigger me, you know, and I would just like wouldn't know how to freaking handle it, you know. And, and I think that's a main reason why those suicidal thoughts were getting implanted into my brain. Obviously, the devil will also play with your mind too, you know. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I just didn't know how to handle it, and the reason why I didn't know how to handle it, I just didn't recognize it. I had to really dig deep, man. Like I had to really try to like. So the thing is, I got to a point like, man, like why am I thinking this stuff? Like obviously, like this is not good at all, and it's not what I want. You know, I'm full of life, and I have so many opportunities, and I just got so much going on for me. Why am I thinking all this? And yeah, man, it starts when you're young, you know. At least it did for me, and just you know, just losing, you know, a family member, or losing a friend, and then like just things just kind of domino. And I wish I had the knowledge when I was young, but of course you're a kid, you don't know.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah, nothing to base it off of.
Yeah, but I wish I could kind of recognize it. But yeah, I kind of just I would block things out, and you know, I'm fine, I'm good, you know. I'll go work out, I'll go run, you know.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, those are great tools to, you know, help with things, but it can also fill a void, you know. And
rather than like addressing it.
Right. It can be a healthy way to fill a void, but it's still filling a void, you know. And I was like, man, I think this is the reason why, you know. And now I can recognize it, and yeah, when these things happen, or when these triggers happen, like Josh is, you know, this is just your brain telling you, you know, this is going to be another loss. And the thing is, if it is, you know, I'll learn from it, and life will go on, and life will still be beautiful, man. It really will, you know. And because I have learned from all those experiences, but it does take some deep digging to realize these things. And that's the thing, you know, like who knows how long it might take someone. It took me 35 years to do it, you know. But I'm fortunate that it only took me 35 years, and I'm not dealing with it anymore. So yeah. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, was it like, you know, loss of life and kind of what sent you down that road, or the idea of it, or, you know, if you don't mind me asking?
So yeah, you know, the thing is, so it started with my grandma. She was man, she was my favorite. She was my favorite, you know, and just literally just watching her die, you know, and just seeing that as a young kid, like that really affected me. And then my other grandparents, my aunt, like I was literally, you know, carrying them, just because they wanted to, you know, pass away in their house. I was literally carrying them, and like watching the life go away, like in your arms, you know, and someone that you really, really love, you know.
I can only imagine how, I mean, you're not, I mean, no one is really equipped to handle that. I mean, especially at a young age, man.
Right. But the big one was, of course, I got a tattoo by my best friend. He's basically my brother. He passed away, and man, talk about that being tough. Just I do think I fully dealt with it and processed it. Instead of like trying to fill voids, and because sometimes being sad and mourning, sometimes you have to do that.
Oh, it's important. Yeah, you gotta give space for that. 100%.
In order to get through things, you don't need to continue it for a long time, but I do think it's important to actually process it, and I do think I did a pretty good job, or I said I did a good job. I did the job in order to do so.
You did the work, Right. Yeah. I mean, do you you still like think about them?
All the time, man. Yeah, all the time. Just because there's certain situations where like, man, this is a big situation. I wish I could tell Mike, or I wish I could call Mike, and like I wish I could talk to him about this. Or if I'm going through something difficult, like, man, I wish I could text my buddy, and just like, because he would have my back and he would talk to me, and yeah. But I do know I can still talk to him as this in a different way, and I know that he's living the best life now. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, amen to that, man. Yeah. I'm deeply sorry that you had to go through all that, man. But obviously, it shaped who you are, and we all love you. So you wouldn't be who you are without going through that, and that's what I have to look back on myself too. And I've been through some, we don't need to go in on this podcast, but I've been through some tough stuff, and to the grace of God, I'm here still too, and I've been down all those roads, but if I hadn't, then I wouldn't be the man I am today. I wouldn't have this podcast. I wouldn't be sitting here with you, and I'm I'm more than happy to be sitting here with you, and so. I know that stuff is heavy, and maybe not what people signed up to listen to on this podcast, but I think it's important, and I know that you think it's important, and it is important to hear, and it's I think people need to hear it. Is there anything that you told yourself, or any any tools that you use to get out of that, like to claw your way from that deepest part?
Yeah, so I've always known, even since I was a little kid, that I have a purpose, and it's to be great. Like, yeah, I might not be like a celebrity or a professional athlete or anything like that, but I have the ability to be great, and I have the ability to help people. I've always been real good about that. I've always had a heart for people, and I always knew that. And here again, I just kind of had to find my way. And so whenever things would be tough, like Josh, buckle in, man. Like you got to live out this purpose, especially now. Just because I got so much going on. But even when things weren't going on, like there's a plan for you, man. There is, and that's what I try to share with people who struggle. And the thing is, Dylan, in my opinion, of course this is my opinion, the ones who struggle the most and go through the tough things have the best testimonies, and they can help the most people. And I'll use honestly, what comes to mind are people who have been in trouble, or might have been incarcerated, or have been through addictions, or have been through maybe a divorce, or have been through just because they had to do a lot of work, in order to get right. And yeah, their testimony is strong, what I'm saying? And they can, of course, they can help, the regular Joe, even though everyone's special, but they can help the ones that are really low too. And I tell you what, man, that's special, so yeah. No,
amen, man. I have a buddy who I actually need to haven't connected with in a while, but I won't say his name, and I don't really remember his organization right now. But reason I won't say his name is I don't have permission to, I haven't talked to him about it, but I'm sure he'd be fine with it. So maybe I'll release it down the road a little bit. But he struggled with addiction. I think he's been in the pen and all that stuff. But now he got into running. I met him whenever I was actually working at I was managing a running store. That's a cool place because I got to meet a lot of people. But he was getting into running. He did his first marathon, and then shortly after did an ultra marathon. I mean, this guy just he took that addictive, whatever that addictive part of his brain was, and he just applied it to running, and he just crushed it. I mean, he continues to crush it. I'm sure, up until the last point I talked to him, need to connect with him again. But, now what he's doing is he has an organization. I don't know if it's fully, 100% his, or if he jumped into an organization where they, I wish I knew the name of the organization because I could share that, but I'm just blanking on it. But it's all about people who struggle with addiction changing their lives through running. And they meet I believe they meet most of the time over at North Shore Lake, which is over kind of by Grapevine, Texas. And I can't remember the name, but if I do find it, I'll drop it into the description of this podcast. But again, testimony, right? Struggled, did the work, came through it, found a tool, and now is applying that tool to people that he knows who had the same struggle. I mean, and he's going to go and he's going to affect so many lives in a positive way, man.
Yeah, and that's the good stuff, man. It really is. Those individuals, of course, we're those individuals, honestly, we're those guys, but I'm proud to be that guy, but we're passionate, we're passionate about things. Once we get to going, we get to going, whatever that might be. I mean, well, shoot, look at me, I started with one tattoo. Now I got tattoos all over me, and it started with a mile, and it's now, all kinds of miles. And that's just kind of our personality, and it's okay. It is, but you do got to be careful with it and make sure that you still got to keep it at bay. You still got to control it, Of course, we get into workouts and we make jokes like, oh, we're going to send it and go for it. And it's just, but we got to keep it at bay, and of course, the more knowledge that you get, the better you get at it, so.
Yeah, I can kind of, I think that's, funny that you say that because I'm learning that. I'm still kind of in the process of learning that, it can cannibalize you, if you're constantly pushing too deep into the red or into the darkness. So it's it can cannibalize you. You have to throttle it. You have to learn.
Yeah, there's always too much of a good thing, and also I kind of recognize this. I bet you probably do this as well, just because you're very successful and you do a lot, man. And actually, I heard a saying, and it was talking about we overestimate what we can do in a day, but we underestimate what we can do in a long time, And so we get to thinking, and of course, social media plays a huge part. And social media is a tool. It is. Don't get me wrong. It really is. But we feel like we got to do this and that, and we got to be here and there, and we got to, train HYROX and do this. And what happens is we just get just overboard of everything, and we kind of, at least for me, I'll do kind of a poor job at everything, instead of just taking a step back and just doing one thing at a time,
One thing really good.
Of course, I can still have all these responsibilities, and I can still, have multiple disciplines and stuff like that. But whenever I'm trying to do it all at once, it just honestly, a lot of times I just don't even freaking do anything, And I got to kind of be more strategic on how I do it, so.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm learning that too. I mean, yeah, good call out because I try to put way too much on my plate. And I mean, I think that is a habit or a quality of people who do become successful. Not to say that I'm successful now, but hoping to get there. But yeah, does seem to be a quality of people, who do become successful or who are successful. Which kind of in a way brings me to my next point. It's what I'm curious, just from my own, personal perspective, what do you do to continue to learn? What do you do to continue to refine your craft? As a coach, as an athlete, just kind of in general, what does that look like for you?
You got to be a nerd. That's the thing. Like, yeah, we're fitness guys, but you got to be a nerd. You got to read. You got to, watch videos. You got to listen to podcasts. You got to connect with people who know more than you. You got to surround yourself with people who are excellent in everything. I think that's definitely the key. Like you said, we are students, but if you're just working on your biceps all the time and just kind of just hoping to just get noticed, and it's not gonna be that way. And I tell you what, I here again, man, there's a reason why we're buddies. This has definitely been a blessing for me. I don't say I do everything right, but I've always been one to where I didn't shy away from taking a chance. And yeah, like, when you messaged me like, hey, like, I want you to do this podcast, I was like, well, all right, I'm driving to freaking Dallas, but the thing is, if he was in Houston, I would have been like, oh, I'm finding a way, and or if there's, a race in Mexico City, or if there's, a group that has supplements, the Manly group, or just whatever, and I have had the opportunity. I think if I had a family, it'd be a little bit different. So I kind of have noticed that, But yeah, you got to put yourself out there, and you got to take chances, and you got to go do this and go try that, and also you gotta fail too. Just because everything's not going to work out, but you got to at least try. Just because if you don't, I mean, who knows what might happen, and I don't want to live with that in the back of my mind. I want to make sure that I at least tried, and if it fails, that's fine. I learned a lesson, and if it's successful, yeah, man, let's freaking keep getting after it. So yeah.
No, yeah, I it's funny whenever you were saying that, like, you well, it sounds like your current like kind of journey is just like plugging yourself in everywhere you can, and I think that's super important, is because I try to do the same thing, and it's funny, like you brought up like being okay with failure, which I think people are coming more around to it. In the past, like, everybody was like, oh, they wouldn't try anything because it was like too afraid of failing, and then now we have a few people with like social media and with podcasts and everything. It's just like people are more open about like, yeah, dude, of course, like I failed a lot, and now people are kind of coming around to the idea that it's okay, and so you're seeing that more. But I'm just thinking like, yeah, I've been there. I have failed so much. I mean, not even just in fitness, and like a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And even recently, I still fail like all the time, but that's how you learn. Like, I remember when I first started writing programs, I'm like, I have every program I've ever written actually in my in like archived notes and like archived libraries. And I'll go back to like some of the first, like, I had some like functional bodybuilding, it was like somewhat bodybuilding, somewhat some CrossFit, things thrown in there. And I'm like, I go back and look at it, I'm like, this is terrible. Terrible. Thank God that that's years ago now, and I've got a lot more experience. But yeah, I mean, I would never have gotten here if I didn't do that. And of course, got lucky with some guinea pigs to try it on. But yeah, no, you have to plug yourself in. You have to be willing to fail, and you have to just like look at it as a learning moment.
Yeah, and the thing is, most of the time when you do get started, you're gonna be bad at it, and of course we see this, whenever people start their fitness journey, it's they're bad at it. I mean, just to be straight up, and but it does take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, and eventually, that unhealthy person becomes a fitness person, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm so glad you said that, because I feel like it's important to say, I for so many years was afraid to be bad at things. Call it ego, or just maybe some stuff when way I was like grew up. I don't know, but I was always, I mean, up until, I'm 30 now. I just turned 30, and I would say probably up until that point I was like 27, maybe 28. I was so afraid to be to fail, or excuse me, to be bad at something. I mean, I would avoid it like the plague. You know, if I knew like, okay, I'm not going to be good at this, like there would be no way that I'd be taking that class, or that I would put myself in that situation. You know, I have my wife to thank a lot for the transition, and also God too. But you know, she gave me a lot of confidence to try new things and not be afraid of them. You know, she's a professional, you know, trained, you know, dance teacher, choreographer. So, you know, she sees people at their most vulnerable. It's just like, you get on the floor and, you know, and dance, you know, people of all levels. But so she has not necessarily no patience, but, you know, for her, it's just like, she's just like, why would you be afraid to look stupid? Or why would you be afraid? I mean, everybody looks stupid when they first start doing something. So I have her to thank for kind of helping me through that. But which, you know, could be a whole podcast on its own about how important it is to have someone in your life that, you know, supports you. But yeah, that is probably one of the most powerful lessons that I have learned in the last, you know, 10 years probably. It's like, just be cool with sucking at something, because you have no idea where that's going to take you.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I understand it. I don't think I was that bad about it, but the thing is, man, whenever you are good at a lot, and whenever because I feel like you're good at a lot of stuff, you know, and whenever you are good at a lot of stuff, yeah, I mean, I guess you kind of get this persona, or like a reputation, and I think it's kind of just, you know, just like a little bit of fear as well, you know, just like, well, if I'm not gonna be good at it, then I ain't gonna freaking do it at all, you know, and yeah, it's not always the best way to approach things, but yeah, of course, like I said, now you're getting through it, man, and the stuff that you may have been bad at, you're pretty good at, and yeah, it's applaudable for sure, man.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm recalling a time whenever I was in like high school sports, and my best friends were always better than me, and I had to work so damn hard just to get up to their level, and that obviously has, you know, kind of carried with me, and now I just kind of go into things like almost, you know, in a silly way, like overly confident. It's like, well, I might be scared, but I'm just gonna just go in pretending like I'm not, like kind of that fake it till you make it kind of thing, or I heard recently someone say fake it till you become it, and I'm like, dude, that's it, right? Was that you? Did you tell me that? No? Okay. I know I heard it for around the same time we did our pre-production, but yeah, I yeah, absolutely. Plug yourself in everywhere you can, and get that experience, you know, even if it is going to be tough. This is just, again, kind of out of curiosity, you know, and you're wearing the shirt now, the Manly shirt. That's kind of how we originally got connected. Of course, we met each other at HYROX Houston last year. But how'd you get involved with the Manly group?
Man, I honestly just saw they posted something. It was like through HYROX America or whatever, on the Instagram. I was like, well, shoot, that looks kind of cool. I'll send them my email, and I'll see what it's all about. And yeah, I was part of that beta testing, and I was like, all right, we'll see what this is about as well. And I continued to do it just because I was kind of, you know, I got into HYROX, and I was wanting to up my game, and I was like, well, these I guess they're essentially micronutrients, just because I was doing all my macros right, and I was like, well, let's step it up a little bit more. And I got into it, and what I didn't realize, and yeah, here again, shout out to Luke and Adam. Man, they've built a community, you know, and I got, you know, buddies now through this program, and friends, and it's been another blessing in my life, just because I get to connect with people like me and you, where like we want to be as high level as possible, and we want to try to be as well rounded as possible, and we're using our fitness and our health to do so. And whenever you surround yourself with people like that and interact with people like that, you just become better, you know. And I guess that's part of the reason why I got into it. Not fully. I didn't know exactly what exactly I was going on. I just knew there was, supplements, and yeah, got plugged in. I was like, well, I gotta stay in this, and yeah, whenever I go travel anywhere, man, I see someone that I know, and they're freaking killing it, and I was just like, I gotta, I say be like them, but just plug myself in with them and continue to feed off them, and hopefully I can help them as well, So yeah, here again, if it wasn't for that group, you and I would, I mean, maybe, but
It definitely was like an accelerator for sure. Yeah. In our friendship and our in connecting and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I feel the same way about them, as well as like the community aspect is I mean, they have so many good things to offer, but the community aspect for sure is like one of the major pillars for me. I mean, they've done a lot for me. So I mean, I could never thank them enough for it. And I mean, just the connections that you make, which again, community, which kind of speaking on community. How does that play a role in how you coach and like what you preach in your gym and how you connect with people, and how I'm sure it's a pretty big part.
Yeah, it's everything, man. Of course, the fitness that goes involved into it, like yeah, it's huge, and becoming healthy and stuff like that, but the community aspect of my gym is what makes everything click and makes everything go. And like we've talked before, here again, I'm biased towards gyms that we have, but you see the best people there. Yeah, you see doctors and dentists and big time business people and just very successful people in there, and it's because they know it works, and they also know that they're in there to better themselves, and whenever you do it in a group setting in a community, it's a you're just the whole concept of fighting the same fight. Of course, you use Army Ranger, and it's like that. I would assume, or if you're on a team, it's like that. But yeah, people long for it, man. They really do. And so when you have other people that kind of keep you accountable, and like if you miss, you'll get messages from this person or that person, and like yeah, they may give you like a difficult time, like oh you're missing, but they truly care. They want to make sure that you're fine, and they miss you at the gym. They want you to continue on, and that's why it's successful. Yeah, seeing the results and getting fit and everything like that. Everyone wants that, but just to have that community aspect goes a long ways. Is because I mean, we need people. We really do. We're not meant to be alone, and whenever you find that group of people to where you see yourself getting better. Man, that's the good stuff, and people really enjoy that. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And they can pull you out of the trenches, man. They can, they can accelerate your, the community aspect. It can pull you out when you need to be pulled out, or you're there to pull someone out when they need to be pulled out. And it can definitely accelerate your growth in a lot of different ways. I mean, and you're spot on. It's like you need that. We are designed to work in a way like that, not secluded in a in a cubicle and working solo all the time, and just kind of not always, but not to revert back to COVID, but I think that's why that was such a trying time for a lot of people, is because isolation. I mean, we're not designed for isolation, so I mean, yeah, it's important to be around.
Yeah, that was a crazy time. I don't know what you was doing during COVID, but I still had my gym, and that was one of the first things that shut down was gyms. And I remember being like a week in, and I kind of like lost a little bit of hope. Like, man, I don't know if my gym's ever gonna open back up again. Like, what am I gonna do? And yeah, that was a crazy time for sure.
Did you have to get creative to kind of like keep things afloat, or?
It's awesome to talk about community. So I sent out an email or a message and told them like, hey, like there's no way I'm gonna charge you guys just because this is not gonna happen. And so I froze all their accounts. 80% sent me a message, says, nope, we're helping out, keep my membership active.
That's amazing,
Dude, yeah. I was able to do, it was mainly actually through Facebook Live. And I would still do like demonstrate because we had like an at-home program. So I would do that every single day and instruct people on how to do it just so they could have somewhat of a class feeling. But yeah, whenever I got all those messages back, I was like, yeah, that's why our kind of gyms, that's why it's here again, I'm biased, but that's why they're the best.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I know we have to say bias, but I mean, I just think that it's a universal truth, though.
Right.
But yeah. I have Harrison is a buddy of mine who probably would love to meet you, but he's unable to be here right now. But I'm actually wearing one of his shirts, Grind here. I know he would be upset if I didn't ask you, which you've already answered, but I'll ask anyway. It's like he wants to know if you are on the grind.
Oh yeah, man, all the time. You gotta be. Yeah, you gotta be all the time. Um, Shoot, I mean, it's kind of a motto in a way. Of course, like that's what the kids say too, and it's cool. But yeah, I mean, always got to be on the grind, and and in my opinion, the grind is just like how we talked about. Just finding ways to make yourself better. And being a student of the game and working, man. And the thing is, work is a blessing. Because there's a lot of people that wish they had work and wish they could work like us, and the ability to work is a blessing, and just got to remember that whenever work feels more like work instead of an actual just like something that you get to do. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What is kind of on the horizon for you?
Yeah, so obviously, I'm going to continue my HYROX training, and I'll continue to just because I do enjoy that, and it gives me a reason to get outside and run, which I really enjoy, and I just like those workouts anyways, and I like those events. So I'll continue to do that as my personal training. I'm taking my athlete performance classes a little bit more serious, and I want to try to really blow that up. And actually, I'm have an app that's about to come out, and yes, for athletes, and I'm hoping that will help people as well. Here again, that's one of those things where because the thing is, I put a lot of work into it. I really did, which you probably know. And yeah, I hope it pays off. But if it doesn't, then I mean, the kids that have a really cool app, But yeah, so I got that coming up. But another thing that I'm really excited about, and it happens next month, and the way we got connected is kind of crazy. But there's a group of us, and we're gonna have a seminar at my gym, and we're gonna. So I have one guy. He's a chiropractor slash sports performance coach. He's gonna speak. There's another guy who's a sports performance coach. He's gonna talk about just like forming good habits and breaking bad habits, and diet and nutrition and stuff like that. And of course, I'm gonna speak as well. I'm gonna speak about leadership, and we got another guy's like a social media guy. But we're really excited about that, and hopefully we can kind of get that going as well. And I think that's gonna be a cool thing. So
That's gonna be sick. When is it?
October 11th.
October 11th. Oh man, I think Allie would probably kill me if I tried to make it up there. 5 days out or 6 days after our son is born. But if I can sneak away, I'd love to come attend and watch you guys crush it because I know you will. But yeah, I'm stoked, man. That's awesome. And I'm really. Do you have an official date for the app yet, or not yet?
Not yet. I got a video that I'm gonna put out. I don't know if I want to truly release it as an ad, or I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna have a video to where I'm announcing it. So it's in the process of being made.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Well, hopefully this platform can help drive people there too. And I'll definitely check it out. That's super exciting. Yeah. Kind of as we wrap up here, you've like I said at the beginning, and what we've kind of talked about already is you've been through a lot in your life, man. You've been in the trenches. You fought back. Now you have the successful thing. It's it's going places. You're going places, and you have 11 and a half years of experience of leadership and entrepreneurship as well. If you can leave the guests that may be struggling or going through something, or just in that grind every day, just trying to pull themselves up, what do you want to leave them with?
Yeah, so that's the thing, and that's something that I came to realize. Yeah, I've been through a lot of difficult things, but I always tell people I'm the most blessed human being ever, and I truly feel that way. And so whenever people can kind of get to that same point, then yeah, that's when that you're on the right way. It takes some work to get there, but everyone is, man. If you woke up this morning and you're breathing, you're the most blessed person in the world. If you went through all kinds of difficulties or all kinds of good stuff, it's lessons that are learned, and yeah, that's a good thing. So yeah, that's my best advice. Realize, and I guess the word would be gratitude. Just be grateful for everything that you got, and yeah, and life's gonna be awesome, man.
Yeah, no, beautiful. I love it. That's something that we can all, not partake, but acknowledge a little bit more is gratitude. I think if we can all make a concerted effort to be more grateful, I think that we'll be in a good spot. Well, Josh, man, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Where how can people find you? Do you have a website, Instagram, all that stuff? I want to send as much people your way as we can.
Yeah, so I got a few things. So of course my personal one is Josh_Carney _1. That's my personal one. Of course I'm trying to blow up my my athlete one. That's Josh Carney Elite Performance on Instagram. Of course that's all tied into my Facebook as well. And my gym is Thrive Athletic Club in McAlester, Oklahoma. Of course, we got the social media and we got the website. All my athlete stuff is through that website. So yeah, that's probably the best way to find me.
And we can find all those links in the show notes as well. But yeah, go check out Josh's programming and just his whole ecosystem, because he's a great coach. And we talked a lot about the offline, and be excited for to send people your way, man, because you definitely deserve it. Well, guys, thanks for listening to Josh's story here, and everything he brings to the table. He's an awesome guy, and I feel honored to have had him on the podcast. And I know you're going places, brother. And I'm just glad to have been a tiny part in that.
Oh, we're gonna do it together, man. We're gonna keep it going.
Amen, brother. All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.